Hello, my name is Oliver. Today I'm going to read you a story from chapter 8 and 9 from the Magic Treehouse Sunset of Sabertooth. A huge mammoth walked across the open plain. Look, said Annie. She pointed to a herd of elk in the distance. They had great wild antlers. There, said Jack, as a herd of reindeer came into view. They pressed gracefully across the snow. Then a ruddy rhino joined them on the open plain. Then a bison. The elk, reindeer, rhino, and bison moved along with them in the distance. They seemed to be escorting Jack and Annie to back the treehouse. The snow sparkles with sunlight. This is a great parade, Jack thought. Fantastic. They were getting closer and closer to the group of trees. I told you, said Annie. Lulu's taking us home. But just then, a mammoth let out a cry. All the other animals bounded off. Peanut started to squeak. Jack looked around. Behind him was a Sabertooth slinking across the sunless snow. The woolly mammoth rode and plunged forward. Jack and Annie nearly fell off. Jack clutched Annie. She and Peanut clutched the mammoth's shaggy hair. The mammoth thundered wildly over the ground. Ah! said Jack and Annie yelled. The mammoth charged through a group of trees, but the tiger circled around the trees. He stood between the tallest tree and the mammoth. They were trapped. The Sabertooth began moving slowly toward the mammoth. The woolly mammoth whirled fiercely. But Jack knew a Sabertooth would kill any creature, including the mammoth. The huge tiger's head was down. His burning eyes were fixed on the mammoth. His long white fangs glinted in the sunlight. The Sabertooth creeped forward. Jack stared in horror. Play the flute, whispered Annie. Is she nuts? Jack thought. Try, said Annie. Jack held the mammoth bone flute to his lips. He blew. The flute made a strange sound. The tiger froze. He glared at Jack. Jack's hands shook. The tiger growled. He took another step. The mammoth rolled and stomped the ground. Play it, said Annie. Keep playing. Jack blew again. The Sabertooth froze again. Jack kept blowing until he ran out of breath. The tiger snarled. He's still there, whispered Annie. Keep it up. Jack closed his eyes, took a deep breath, then blew as hard as long as he could. He covered and uncovered the holes on the bone. The music sounds strange, as if it were coming from another world. He's leaving, Annie whispered. Jack raises his eyes. The Sabertooth was slinking off toward the cliffs. We did it, said Annie. Jack lowered the flute. He felt very tired. The mammoth reared its trunk happily. To the treehouse, Lulu, said Annie. The woolly mammoth snorted. Then he lumbered over the tallest tree. From the back of the mammoth, Jack grabbed a rope ladder. He held it for Annie. She stroked the mammoth's giant ear. Bye, Lulu. Thank you, he said. Annie grabbed the rope ladder. Then she started up. Peanut climbed it up too. After they disappeared into the treehouse, Jack climbed onto the ladder. He looked back at the woolly mammoth. "Bye, girl," he said. "Go home now, and watch out for Sabertooth." The mammoth walked away into the sunset. When Jack couldn't see her anymore, he started up the rope ladder. He pulled himself into the treehouse. "Ta-da!" said Annie. She handed the Pennsylvania book to Jack. Jack smiled. He was positive they had found the third ending. The mission was complete. "Hey, before we leave, we have to give our coats back," said Annie. "Oh, right," said Jack. They took off their reindeer skin coats and dropped them into the ground. "Brr," said Annie. "I hope the Cro-Magnon people find them." Jack stared out the window. He wanted to take one last look at the prehistoric world. The sun was setting behind the hills. 4 people were crossing the snowy plain. It was a Cro-Magnon family. "Hey!" shouted Annie. "Shh!" said Jack. The Cro-Magnon stopped and peered in Annie and Jack's direction. "We left the reindeer skins down there," Annie pointed to the ground. The tallest person stepped forward and raised his spear. "Time to go," said Jack. He grabbed the Pennsylvania book. He found a picture of Frog Creek and pointed at it. "I wish we could go home," he said. "Goodbye, good luck," Annie called, waving it out the window. The wind started to blow, and the treehouse started to spin. It spun faster and faster. Then everything was still, absolutely still. "Thank you for attention,"